Howdy, leadership scholars. Welcome to ALED 481. Man, I'm glad you're here, but I can guarantee you I'm not as glad as you probably are, because if you are enrolled in this class, that means that you have completed or are almost through completing all of your required courses for your degree, which means graduation is right around the corner, which also means, oh, yikes, graduation is right around the corner, right? So it is definitely a double-edged sword. So I'm very excited that we're going to take this trip together this semester. So let me talk a little bit before we get started about my objectives for this course. So I'll tell you a little bit about me in a second, but one thing I want you to know is that you and I will have the same undergraduate degree. Now, it's gone through a lot of different name changes over the years. When I graduated, it was called Ag Development. You may be University Studies Leadership, you may be Ag Leadership, but really we are taking a lot of the same concepts but applying it in very new and different ways, because I can guarantee you the world is a lot different now than it was when I graduated with my undergraduate degree. But my objective for this course is for you to be able to synthesize all of the information that you've learned in your degree and apply it in multiple contexts. That's what this class is about. Now, I know it's a little weird because it's called ALED Senior Seminar, and you're not going to get a whole lot of seminar out of it. It really should be called ALED Application, because it is your ability, it's going to show me your ability to apply and really the depth of your knowledge that you've gained over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 years, right? There's no judgment how long it took. So this is really your opportunity to shine, and I'm excited to help you along that journey. So when we think about this class, there's 3 big objectives. Is we want you to be able to walk out of this program and tell people what you believe leadership is. Not only the what, but the why. Why do you believe leadership is what you believe it is? And how can you make the world a better place by utilizing your concepts? Again, that application, you're going to hear that word a lot, not only during this lecture, but through the whole semester. Apply, apply, apply. And the reason why is we as educators know the more you apply a concept, the more you actually use the concept, the more it's going to stay with you and the better you get at it, right? Because we know there's a lot of skills-based learning when it comes to this degree. And the last thing that we want you to be able to do is actually look at a situation and say, all right, what's the good leadership stuff that's going on here? And what's the, we can make this a little better type leadership stuff that's going on here? So who is this disembodied voice you keep hearing? Some of you, I saw your names on the roster and I got excited because either I've had you in class or we've interacted in different ways. And so you may have already met me. My name is Dr. Jennifer Strong. I am a Fighting Texas Aggie class of '02. And for those that don't know me, teaching this way is not my favorite. And I think it's because I think as a learner, I need somebody to make sure that I'm understanding the concepts, right? Looking at my body language, understanding good discussion. And as a teacher, I love doing that. So it's not my favorite and preferred way to teach or for you to learn, but given your circumstances, this might be the best way for you to do it. So I've got 2 amazing kiddos. You can see, well, 4 if you count the 4-legged kind, the top left-hand picture. Our dogs, I'll start there. Our dogs are Thor and Khaleesi. So we've got 2 black labs. My daughter, Brenna, is a sophomore here at A&M, actually majoring in ag leadership. You might have had her in a class or 2. Minoring in psychology. She is amazing, and I'm blessed to be called her mom. That crazy kid with the blue tongue in that middle picture, that is my sweet angel baby Cooper. Cooper was actually killed in a car wreck about 7 years ago, but he is continues to be a light in my life. God let me rent him for 8.5 years, and I'm so blessed that he did. And I will let you know there's going to be Cooper stories throughout. He's part of my story. He's part of my leadership journey, and I want to share that with you. That handsome man sitting next to me and behind Reveille is my husband, Dr. Robert Strong. If you're around our department, you may have seen him in the halls. He teaches more on the graduate level, and he is this amazing researcher that is doing this cutting edge research. It's so cutting edge. Can't even wrap my mind around it. He is amazing, and I'm lucky to have him in my life as well. And those two people that are sitting in the picture on the top right, those are Joe and Chris Townsend. We lost Joe to cancer a few years ago, but you may have heard his name around, especially if you've got parents that are Aggies and majored in the College of Ag. Joe cared about students. Joe cared about Aggies getting the best experience they possibly could. So it's very sad that we lost him as a member of our Aggie family. And Chris, there in between us, is his amazing wife. She was a professor in our department. She was department head for a long while as well. She has retired. In fact, I got to take her job when she retired. I got to come back to Texas A&M and take my mentor's job, which is pretty awesome. And you'll hear more about her when we talk about mentoring, because she is still very much a giant presence in my life. So I have 2 degrees from Texas A&M, both focusing on leadership, and then my PhD is from Oklahoma State, where I got my PhD in Ag Ed with an emphasis in higher education leadership and business, which was a really cool combination to do. And then my first big kid job was at the University of Georgia, so I got to go play with the Bulldogs for a while and then come back home to the mothership. I've been back for 15 years, which is crazy to think that I've been back to Aggie Land for that long, but I'm really excited to lead you for the rest of the semester. So let's talk some brass tacks. One of those brass tacks is the texts. So you may have looked through the syllabus already and saw, oh, great, we don't have any textbooks. That's right, because everything you need to be successful in this class, you already have, which is your APA manual. Yes, that is not going away. You've got to use APA citations, and you've got to use APA format when you are doing your papers for this course. You got to show me you still have that competency, right? And then all of your notes from ALED 202, 301, 340, 424, and 440 are going to be essential. So find those notes. If you have deleted them or lost them, find a friend who has theirs. I hope you kept your books. I know when I teach any of the core classes, I tell students, keep your books until you graduate. Then you can sell them and go eat a steak. But until then, make sure you keep them, because you're going to need them for this class, because we're going to go back and we're going to revisit a lot of these concepts, and you're going to need those books and those notes. And then Canvas. So we will have readings every week, and they are going to be on Canvas. So let's switch for a second and let's actually talk about Canvas. Let me move this around so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is our Canvas homepage. Huzzah! You may have already been playing around with it, depending on how you access this lecture, but you can reach our syllabus, of course, university resources, Canvas resources, mental health resources, all very important things. But really the things that you want to know most about are over here, either on the syllabus tab. Haha! And yes, I'm one of those dorks that has a fun little picture you click on to get to your syllabus as it loads. This is really our guide map, right? Because this is an online class, this is how you're going to first go for your information and then come to me with any questions. So let's talk about that for a second. Because this is an online class, I am willing to meet with you, but it is by appointment only. That's because, one, I've got online classes and I've got crazy meetings and other projects that I'm involved in. So I want to make sure that if you need to meet with me, I can schedule out that time so that we can make sure that you know and understand everything completely. What I just covered right there as we go through. We'll talk about course evaluation and how you get your grades in a second, but that's all there. And then our course schedule. So I wanted to kind of show you this a little bit. We've got week 1, week 2, week 3 there. And so that correlates to on week 1, you've got 2 topics. I'm kind of treating this like a Tuesday, Thursday class. You've got 2 topics, and then here is going to be what your readings are and what is due. So very important for you to always continually go back to this schedule just to double check and make sure that you're clicking on the modules in the order that you need to click on those modules. And then there's all the things that they require to put on our syllabus. So you guys can read that. So let's go over to modules. Let's click on that one. So what this is going to look like for this class, and right now only week 1 is up and ready for you guys, is that you've got not only your week, but it's going to tell you what you're going to learn. So 481, organizational culture and expectations. That's us setting our expectations. That's us talking about what this class is going to be. There's also going to be a link as soon as I get this taped and uploaded for the lecture. So down here you can see, here's the link for the lecture that you can click on for that. Here's your reading that is designated on that course schedule and our topic. So you can see that, and our quiz, which we'll get to all of these things. So here we've got week 1 and what that looks like for you guys. All right, so let's continue. Let's talk about these assignments. Okay, as you saw and as I stated earlier, APA does matter. So there on Module 1 under Week 1, I have an APA example sheet for you guys because I know that some professors are okay with you guys citing lecture. Some professors don't want you to cite lecture. Some say that citing a textbook is fine. Others say no, they want you to go to the original material. I will tell you that as long as it is a scholarly reference, I'm okay with you citing it. So scholarly reference being an actual journal article, an actual book, right? None of this, I tell students all the time, if it's a .com, it's a .no. Like, just stay away from that. There's some really bad and misleading leadership websites that students tend to panic and try to cite. So that would be like psychologydefinitions.org. That's not legitimate. In fact, some of their ethical definitions are actually wrong. So make sure that you are citing the correct thing. So that's part of that APA. Citing lectures for this class is going to be a little different too because it is online and there's a specific way that APA wants you to cite these lectures. So make sure that you visit that example sheet and you're utilizing your APA resources as you're putting together your papers. So you've got really 2 big papers for this class. The first is your leadership philosophy, and that's going to be not only what is your philosophy, why do you believe it, what are the theories that are underpinning what you believe leadership is, and how are you going to apply leadership moving forward. Then your final paper, and if you look, 150 points, like 27% of your grade, right? It's a big one. That is an organizational analysis. Now, for that paper, you're basically going to take concepts from every single core class in leadership that you took and apply them to a specific organization. This organization should be the organization you are going to work for when you get out of here, right? I really hope you already have a job lined up because we know in this market that's so important to be very ahead of the 8 ball on that. But if you haven't, you will choose the organization that you're most likely to work with. So maybe you had an internship there, or your dream organization, one that you really, really want to work for. And you're going to hit principles from 202, from 301, from 340, from 424, and from 440. And so you're going to apply those main things that you learned in those classes to the organization, because we want to make sure that you can go in and truly understand your surroundings, not only how you can survive and thrive in that organization, but how you can help them survive and thrive. Throughout the semester 2, there are 6 applications. And so these applications are going to be either you interviewing people and collecting data. It could be you watching a specific TV show that I'm going to give you and writing a short one-pager summarizing how specific theories can be seen in that TV show, or an article that I post that is something that's going on in the world, and I want you to actually critically analyze and synthesize and apply what you know to that situation. So those are going to look a little different. And then quizzes. So you're going to have 6 quizzes. And really that's because I know you guys have senioritis. Y'all, I know I'm old, but it hadn't been that long since I've been in your seat. And I remember how hard it was to find motivation in your senior seminar course. So these quizzes are to keep you honest. It's to make sure that you're doing the readings. It's to make sure that you're listening to the lectures. It's to make sure that you're building time to do the things you need to do. So for example, your first quiz is due on Friday. So that has 5 questions on it. There's 1 true false, 1 multiple choice, or maybe they're both true false. They're easy. And then there's 3 fill in the blank. 1 is pretty legit. It's about the readings, and that one's going to take you some time and effort. The other 2 are more thought questions that you'll be able to complete. But let me tell you about the quizzes. It isn't, oh crap, it's Friday at 4 o'clock. I better do that quiz, and I haven't even opened up any of the material. That's not going to fly. In order for you to take this quiz, you only have 30 minutes to take it. It is open note, but you've got to make sure that you have things downloaded, that you have read all of the readings, that you've taken notes on the readings, that you've listened to the lectures, you've taken notes on the lectures. That's how you are successful on these quizzes. So you have to be truly prepared before you go. Now, on assignments, everything in this class is going to be due Friday at 5 p.m. So important. I'm going to say that again. It is due Friday at 5 p.m. CST, which is College Station time. You may have thought it was Central Standard. No, it's College Station time. So that means, hey, if you're on vacay with your family, no judgment. I get it. You're taking an online class, but maybe you're in Europe, which is awesome. You've got to figure out in European time, what is College Station time, so you can get that stuff in and done. I do that for a couple reasons. If you turn it in after 5 o'clock, I can't help you because I'm not up at 11:59 because I'm old, okay? The other thing is, if you're trying to turn something in at 11:59 and something goes wrong, IT is probably not going to the help desk. Hardly ever answers at that hour. But at 5 o'clock, they're going to answer. So that's why everything is due Friday at 5. So make sure that you know that. That is extremely important. Now, moving forward, as we go forward, again, listen to the lectures, read the readings, be confident when you start taking those quizzes. I will start uploading slowly more content and the rubrics for your 2 papers so you can understand those a little bit more. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. We can work through that either via email or set up a time to meet either face-to-face if you're in town or virtually if you're not. And I'm here to help, right? I'm here to make sure that you wrap up your leadership degree with a good-looking bow and you walk out of here with confidence and ready to rock and roll. So thank you guys.